So this is the ARO-MINI green dot sight from AT3 Tactical. I gotta say, I am beyond pleasantly surprised with this thing. Okay, here is the quick backstory on this. Here's the nice little box it came in. I needed to test the optic cut on this slide, so I just wanted to pick up a whatever. I didn't actually plan on actually mounting this optic onto this pistol. I was just going to use it to check the slide. So I was shopping around for pretty much just anything, right? I checked all the sales, all the deals. There was a SIG optic. Unfortunately, it had a bottom loading battery, so that would mean that you would have to take the optic off to change the battery each time and then put everything back and re-zero it. I didn't want any of that nonsense. It also has a button. The SIG optic has a button that most people can't press. Some guy was saying that he has to use his fingernail to try to hit the button, and I have big hands, so that was a red flag for me. There were a couple of, geez, what is that brand called? Canic. There were a couple of Canic red dots, and they were marked down, I don't know, like 55%. I mean, those things start at like, $2.50 bills. Well, they still came in about $20 or $30 more than this thing. And when I started looking at them, same thing. They had a bottom feeding battery. So it was really hard to find anything else that at least had the core specs that I wanted. Let's just look at this awesome little thing. Right, we have one button here to rule them all, and this one button does the damn thing. It is awesome. Clear gun, nothing in the chamber. There are no magazines in this airsoft pistol, right, YouTube? Wink, wink. So this was really like the only runner-up, and it's crazy because this thing wasn't even on a crazy sale. I think they had a President's Day thing. I got to take like $15 off my order. Another thing that I noticed, a lot of brands will have a red dot sight, and when they come out with the green dot version of that sight, they will charge $50, $60 more. AT3 did not do that. I think the difference between the red dot and the green dot was like $9 or $10. I'm all for that. I like seeing green for the money, gold for the honey. So I get this thing, I fit it to the slide, everything works out, and then I actually start looking at this thing and all of its features. I did drop test this thing on accident once, so it definitely it survived. It did not go the way of the Olight. Those things were notorious when they first came out for having a cracked screen if you dropped it. So this thing definitely survived. It's a simple little optic. It does exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't need any of the thrills, and actually I think it lends itself very well to the lines of this pistol. It's not over the top. It doesn't have crazy aggressive lines. It does exactly what it's supposed to, and it doesn't take away from the actual pistol itself. And it started growing on me pretty quick. What really grew on me is the performance of this thing. It's a 3 MOA dot, which is perfect. That's in the Goldilocks zone for me. I prefer a 2 MOA dot if it gets really bright. If 6 MOA dots are good for like really close quarters, but when you try to go out to like 40-50 yards, your dot will pretty much cover whatever small target that you're trying to shoot at. So this being 2 or 3 MOA, this being a 3 MOA, it was perfect. We have the top loading battery, right? Now, is this thing perfect? No, they could have done a different cap with a Phillips slot in it to make, this battery cap easier to take out and swap batteries, but all in all, it works, right? I can swap the battery in this thing in a minute if I have to with just some kind of half-ass screwdriver. So top loading battery, absolutely awesome. This thing is IPX7 waterproof, and that is pretty much the gold standard for an optic. That's what you want. That means that this can be submerged in a meter of water for up to 30 minutes. So it can take water pressure. Now what that means is this is totally waterproof in the rain. You can be out in a monsoon. Just don't drop this thing in a lake and let it sit there for more than 30 minutes, right? Definitely what you want for an optic on any carry gun. I think it works very well for a carry gun, right? Just the design of it, how sleek it is. It's not too big. It's not going to catch on stuff, and it does what it's supposed to do, right? Aside from that, this thing also has auto on, auto off. It has the shake awake feature, so it will save your battery, right? This also has a light adjustment mode that you can put it on. So pretty much when it's in the holster, it's on the lowest setting because your holster is going to be darked out. And as soon as you pull it out into the sunlight, well, it's going to go on to one of the higher settings. So you can see it in the daytime. Really awesome. I love this thing. Been having a blast with it. So right now we see that little dot, and the dot is going to get brighter. Try to go over here. The dot fades, and the camera's not going to show the dot as well as my eye can see it. We go over here, the dot gets brighter. See, that's that auto feature, so that's cool. The other thing that's cool is how easy it is to switch it over to manual settings. Pretty much I'm just going to tap this button and we're going to go from that auto mode to whatever setting that I want. And one of the really cool things about that is this thing is most definitely daylight bright. And actually I have to hold the button and mess with it. I still have to look through all the controls, but the this thing is daylight bright. I don't know how well my camera's going to be able to pick it up. I can look at this fluorescent light and I can see my green dot, so that is awesome. For those people that don't like the auto settings changing on their optic, you can just set it and forget it. It'll stay there. And after 15 minutes of use, this thing will shut down to save you battery life, and as soon as you grab it, it'll go right back to the setting that you had it on previously. I don't even rock this thing on full number 6 setting. I think I keep mine on like 4 or 5. It's been working great for me, but for those people that are dealing with an extra sunny bright day, setting number 6 is definitely daylight bright. So all of that really blew me away. Especially for the price. This thing came in at like $1.5 billion, and that's not even on some crazy sale. I did notice that AT3, they do like 20% off sales here and there. I see them advertised. Pretty much how I got turned on to this brand is a buddy of mine that hunts hogs and coyotes. He's made a few builds already with AT3 stuff, and he told me, you know, I mean, this guy, he vouched for this stuff. And he's constantly dragging his gear through the woods. I mean, he's always out there. Every weekend is an update on the hogs that he's hunting. He is constantly out there stalking shit and dragging his gear through the woods and the brush. So I figured, hey, if this stuff has been holding up for my buddy, I need to check it out. And obviously the price on this thing is phenomenal. The other optics that I was looking at that had lesser features than this, that were on a PSA clearance sale, they had like the bottom loading batteries and stuff. They still came in a little bit more than this optic, pretty much at full price. So that is impressive to me. So I got this. It wasn't supposed to be mounted on this gun, but it is definitely mounted to this thing now. We already got the Loctite in. It's won me over. This is staying on the Night Stalker, and I would highly suggest this optic for the Night Stalker. It fit very well. No plates or anything needed. And these come with a shim plate. It's a 1 degree plate if you need that sort of thing. It's pretty cool that they, you know, include that in the box. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, for me, this thing has all the core things that I want. Auto on and off, a top-loading battery, the shake awake, and even comes with some extra features I wasn't expecting. And the brightness of the dot was really cool. I expected much less actually for the price. I expected something like this. Okay, this is a Swamp Fox optic. This thing really is not that expensive. It was on clearance, and I scored this for a bill. That's about its only saving grace. The dot cuts out when you get to the very bottom of the screen. It'll just disappear because the projector cannot project onto the very bottom of this screen. And I just kind of expected something like that. That was not the case. This thing is very awesome, right? And like even these Swamp Fox optics, this isn't a super expensive name brand by any means, but a brand new red dot from Swamp Fox is going to cost you at least a bill more than one of these. So I'm definitely going to be picking up more stuff from them just because I'm so impressed with what I got out of the box here, especially for the price. I'm going to have to check out what their RMR cut little optics is looking like. So very cool little thing. Check out AT3. There's the logo, an A, a T, and a 3. And you can thank me later. I will see you on the flip side. Have an awesome day, everybody.